Class, how you doing? This is Chris Curtis again. We're here today discussing module number 3, which is on fire prevention. So what I want to go into with the topic of fire prevention is I actually want to get into Fire Prevention Week. So to tell you a little bit about Fire Prevention Week, I want to go into the history of it again. Fire Prevention Week was actually established after the Great Chicago Fire, which happened in October 1871. To tell you a little bit about the Great Chicago Fire, if you don't know, it killed more than 250 people, left 100,000 people homeless, and destroyed more than 17,000 structures. And it burned over 2,000 acres of property. Now that's a huge, huge, massive fire. Again, it happened on October 9th, and it was in 1871. And after that, they commemorated it every year, but it wasn't until 1920 when President Woodrow Wilson actually signed a proclamation of National Fire Prevention Awareness Day. 2 years later, it was made National Fire Prevention Awareness Week, and we've had it ever since then. Every year it has a different theme. This past year's theme was Prevent Kitchen Fires, teaching families how to prevent kitchen fires and how to stop them if they happen in home. And also past themes have been, one we met before is Learn Not to Burn, and also one as simple as Fire Hurts. These programs are also tied into another subject which we're going to talk about in a later date, which is public education. Public education and fire prevention are very, very closely related, and they go hand in hand together. So to get more back into the Fire Prevention Week, since the Great Chicago Fire happened on October 9th, Fire Prevention Week usually happens then, whenever October 9th. It falls from I believe it's a Sunday through a Saturday week, and the upcoming for this 2014 year will be October 5th through the 11th. To tell you a little bit about how these home fires start, I have a few facts I pulled off the NFPA website here, and it was saying that fire departments back in 2011 responded to more than 370,000 home structure fires. Now that's a ton. That's not medical calls. That's not other types of calls. That's structure fires. So we're getting a lot of calls. Obviously there's ways to prevent them, and we can get those numbers down. Some of the things that have caused these home fires, which we're very familiar with, the number one probably culprit is kitchen fires, also known as cooking fires. 2 out of every 5 fires are usually caused by a cooking or kitchen fire. So other things that can cause these fires are heating elements, and also electric fires, which they're very, very tied in very closely together. We don't deal with that as much down here in South Florida, but they do happen. A couple other things that can also cause these fires and ways to prevent them are increasing education on smoking materials. Smokers, these days cigarette companies say they make safer cigarettes that are fire safe, but I don't really believe that. Again, alcohol impairment is also a possible factor that's tied into that. Something else that happens that can cause fires is candles, the use of unburned candles. I'm sorry, not burned candles, but unwashed candles. Candles that people leave on, and apparently another factor I'm reading here is saying that candles report 32 home candle fires are reported per day on average in 1 year. Now that's a lot. Ways that you can actually prevent fires from happening, or actually not prevent them, but to increase your chances are, there's a few things you could do. Number one is escape planning. A simple plan that fire department uses is known as EDITH. Again, this goes back into public education. EDITH is known as exit drills in the home. A couple more facts I have here, that according to an NFPA survey, only 1/3 of Americans have developed and practiced a home fire escape plan, and almost 3/4 of Americans do not have an escape plan, and however more than half of that have not practiced it. These are things that need to be done to keep you and your family safe. Another one here is smoke alarms. Obviously smoke alarms make a big difference. Smoke alarms here, almost 2/3, 62% of reported home fire deaths resulted from fires with no home smoke alarms or working smoke alarms. That is crazy, because smoke alarms, they're very cheap. You can get them easily. One more fact here, the last one I'm going to give you on smoke alarms. In fires considered large enough to activate a smoke alarm, hardwired alarms operated 92% of the time, while battery-powered alarms only operated 77% of the time. Obviously, you want to, whenever you hear smoke alarm beeping, you want to check the batteries, you want to change it. Something that we do in the fire service is that when the clocks change, that's when it's time to change your batteries, so twice a year. So I recommend that for fire prevention and keeping your family safe, if you don't live in a sprinklered home or residence, you obviously want to have your escape plans ready, and you also want to have your smoke alarms up to date and working. So that's what I have for you on fire prevention. Thank you for listening to my discussion, and talk to you again soon.